Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. Today guys, we're going to be diving down into the charts to take a look at what has been going on most recently with the price action of Cardano's ADA. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you are going to be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's jump on down into the desktop, take a look at price action of ADA and what we expect to happen next. Okay guys, so we're going to really kick things off with our hourly chart. This is where we're really looking at what is going on right now and what we expect to happen, you know, within the next few hours, next couple of days or so, right? So obviously if we just zoom out here, we can see the recent push to the upside. We could acknowledge this, we analyze this quite a bit, specifically within our Discord server and for the Patreon members. So again guys, if you're not already on our Discord server, there's a link in the description below. Go check it out, it's completely free. Join us down in Discord. We talk crypto 24/7. If you're looking for a little bit more specifically around the analysis, you know, what I'm thinking is going to happen with strategy and all that kind of stuff, there's also a link to our Patreon services as well in the description, so check that out if that's of interest to you. So obviously, as we said, you know, we communicated out to our Patreon members, you know, what was going on here in terms of ADA, where we were expecting things to go. Now, I actually had this a little bit shallower. I think it was about 158. I think this was topping out just on a resistance level. Now, we actually overextended that a little bit, not by too much. We went up to about 164. Approximately here. You can see that we pushed right through that resistance, tested it and pushed a little bit higher, and then fell back down. But what was really frustrating about this move is we basically had 5 waves over here, just 5 impulsive move up, effectively actually created an A wave, right? This actually then went down into our B wave, which was a simple ABC correction. We then had an additional 5 waves up here, and what we were hoping for was to basically go impulsive, right? And we actually fell short of the impulsive move, and what we saw then was this pullback that actually crossed the previous A wave high. This effectively means that this was just an A, a B, and a C move, basically corrective in action, which basically means that it's short term, no decent trends have been set in one direction. Okay, so what we end up here with is a very standardized ABC move. Now that ABC is obviously quite a large one on a larger time frame, but again, you know, we can see it here with all the micro movements as well. Okay, so it's good to see after a pullback that we had this nice big push to the upside. Again, Sunday swap effectively being kind of the main driver behind this, but not the only reason that you see what was going on. Obviously, this actually started to decline 2 days ago before the launch of Sunday Swap, right? So it's important that we understand that. Now, obviously, as we pull back down here, this gives us a bit of an idea, a bit of an indication as to what to expect to happen next, right? We can see that we've got a few different things occurring here, a couple of different waves that we should potentially be aware of. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to measure this out and kind of give you an idea as to what I'm thinking is likely to occur next. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically measure this distance just here, right? Because this is a clear pullback. Okay, there's a little bump here in the road, but otherwise it's pretty steady decline, right? So that's a wave right there. Then we had a larger push to the upside, and that effectively would be a B wave. And then as we see here, we actually found a little bit of support just around here on that $1.35. It actually pushed us up a little bit after a bit of a bounce to the downside here, and then effectively we've pulled back down. Now this is a correction again. There's nothing impulsive about it. It is a correction, and you can see the 1-to-1 ratio actually being achieved just down here. Now when we actually take a look at this, I think there's a couple of ways that we can draw this up, right? And I think we haven't seen the last of this potential pullback just yet. So what I'm thinking is that we actually have this big move here as an A, B, and then a C that's actually slightly short, as in we found the support level, and then we actually see a move up with an A, B, C, a really small one, nothing too amazing, but effectively what it's done is it's allowed that stochastic RSI to come up a little bit, and then allows us to pull back down further. So what I'm seeing here, so if I remove that, is the pullback that completed a small corrective action back up, and now we are looking for further downside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this distance, and I'm going to just make sure I get that as close as I can. It won't be 100% accurate, guys, but it's going to be close to it. And again, as I pull that down here, this gives us a bit of an idea that we might be looking at a $1.25 ADA before we start to see another corrective move to the upside. So what do we have here? We have the A, we have a B, and a potential C coming down here. Now, look at the support like we had previously, specifically around here, and that support level is actually going to be found this time at 128. Okay, and again, that's right on top of the 702 Fibonacci retracement zone. So for me, that's going to be a really strong area of support. So we're going to be watching that as this potential move plays out. Looking at the stochastic RSI, obviously really sensitive to price movement. We are looking for corrective action. We are looking to pull this down a little bit. So we are looking at 128.8 as a potential support if it holds. If not, then the 1-to-1, the most probable area for a C wave to land is going to be the 125.2 cent zone. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on a short time frame. You often see this kind of thing occur. Now, obviously, there's a big push to the upside, but it didn't go impulsive. It played out. We had the pullback. So we are where we are with it. And, this basically now presents ourselves with opportunity. Okay, the opportunity being the fact that this entire move could be a very corrective or could be a big A wave on a larger time frame, this being a B wave correction, and then we look further forward. So what we do here is we're going to measure this potential pullback, right? And we'll see, does that C wave actually resonate with anything? And when here you can see it's resonating with the 618 on a larger pullback. So this ABC could potentially be an A wave on, let's say, a daily or a 3 daily chart. This pullback that we're expecting to happen could be our B wave low, and then that takes us into a C wave high at a later stage. We're going to confirm that in a moment on the larger time frames, but it's definitely something that I think is worth acknowledging, right? A big push like this is potentially a very clear wave on a larger time frame. This pullback here actually takes us down into a potential 618 zone, which again is an area that resonates incredibly well with Elliott theory, or Elliott wave theory. So one to check out. I do expect this to kind of play out, and I'm expecting us to pull back down into this lower range. There is support in this range here of $1.28.8, and that we want to be watching out for. Right, now let's actually, we're kind of a good idea, right, of what's going on our hourly chart, what's going to happen in the next few hours into the next day, maybe 48 hours. Let's actually take this up into our daily chart, right? Because this is where we start to see that definitive trend, right? So as you can see here, that move, that ABC, it could potentially be that we actually have that as an A wave, as I just said, this being our B wave down, and then a potential push higher. So let's go ahead and measure that. We'll take it from the bottom here, and we'll push it up. We can see that bounce comes right in here onto the 618. Okay, so that's the area that we're looking for a bounce on. That basically comes in actually at $1.26.1. So a little bit higher than the 1-to-1 ratio, a little bit lower than the support level of 128.8. So in this range seems to be a pretty interesting point that we're going to be finding some form of reversal. Okay, now as we take that and we think about where that's going, let me just remove it for a second here and draw it from top to bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to transpose this Fibonacci over to that area of a B wave low, and here we can actually get an idea as to where that C wave move is likely to go next. That being effectively $1.93.2. Again, it wouldn't be a straight move, like we wouldn't expect to see this pullback being just one straight move to the downside, and like we have these 3 clear waves here to the upside within our A wave, we would expect to see at least a good 3 clear moves inside that move to the upside, right? So we expect potential push up, going higher than the previous A wave, then we'll expect rejection, pull back, and then a further push to the upside. And again, this could go impulsive. I'll quickly mark that up on the daily chart here with a horizontal rate. If we actually go above the 1.382 area, I would be expecting that to turn in from an ABC move into a impulsive wave count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so again, what we're talking about here is a potential trend setting up for Cardano, something that I've been talking about for a while now, but we haven't actually yet seen. So I'm going to just tidy this chart up a little bit. I'll leave the bigger ABC on there, but I will remove the Fibonacci retracement tool for now. Okay, so we can kind of see that. Now, as we come up into our weekly chart, this is kind of what I've been looking at. I've been trying to figure out, what's actually going on here. Are we actually setting that new trend as we come to the bottom of our corrective move? Okay, so obviously we had the ABC down. We had that oversold status on Cardano. And of course, now we're looking to really set forward with a good push to the upside. Now, as we look to potentially go up into that C wave high, that could be the trigger point that actually sees Cardano definitively set this first A wave before seeing a pullback and then potentially going into a C wave later. Like I said earlier, if that daily chart does go impulsive, then that's actually going to be a really good clear indication that we should expect further impulsive moves on the daily chart. So one to watch out for, I think, in the coming kind of days and weeks as time progresses with Cardano. But we are looking to try to set this new trend to the upside, right? Basically, we had those 5 impulsive moves on our weekly. That took us to $3.10. We had the corrective ABC down, not impulsive down, so we know it's corrective short term. And then we're looking to try to set the new trend to the upside here for Cardano on the weekly chart. Now, obviously, it's a weekly chart, which means it has to play out over several months, right? This isn't something that's going to happen instantaneously. That's why I started today's video on that hourly chart. What are we actually expecting to happen, within the next few hours into few days? Well, that's downside. We're expecting downtrend on Cardano to take us into that low range of a B wave, right? Then I expect us to push up massively into the C wave, where I then expect more downside afterwards, right? And again, this actually plays into that larger piece of what is actually going on the daily chart. Again, we have this triangle or triangular wedge shape forming here for Cardano that could potentially now see what's with that breakout. Okay, and that would be a really good key indication of new trends coming for Cardano. Okay, we aren't there yet. We are still in a space of volatility. I am still expecting, Bitcoin to also be incredibly volatile and Bitcoin to potentially pull back in the market. For Cardano right now, it's actually looking like we are expecting that volatility on the hourly. We are still expecting, some interesting moves to play out on the daily. But what we're not seeing just yet is that definitive trend actually coming in and becoming really visible on our weekly chart just yet. But it does look like we are finally making some kind of progression towards it, which is fantastic. So guys, I am going to leave the video there. Hopefully you have found this useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you are going to be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us on Discord, links in the description down below. Go ahead, check it out, it's free. Fantastic community, talking crypto 24/7. Likewise, links to Patreon if you're looking for more analysis, more strategies, accumulation, bear market talk, all of that kind of stuff, including AMAs. Then check out the Patreon services in the link description down below. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.